Tune in to UFO Undercover, Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, with your host, Joe Montaldo, right here on the Paranormal Radio Network.
What's out there? What creates the shadows in the corners or the creatures of the dark? Who are those on the other side? What do they have to say? This is the Gateway Podcast. This is not your normal style of paranormal talk radio. Brought to you live from United Public Radio Network, 107.7 FM New Orleans.
Oh, my Lord, have mercy on me. Hey, Squats, man, how you doing? Hello, everybody. Joe Fox, good evening to you, too, sir. What a day, guys. I'm telling you. Everything, I don't know what happened to my voice. I see my whole computer screwed up. I was supposed to show an episode of here. Now my internet is acting up pretty crappy. So if I get touched today, Craig, Kurt W, good to see you. I'm having a stressful evening tonight, Kurt. That ain't working. I tried to bring up a rough ear episode. But I believe that there are no such thing as coincidences, that everything happens for a reason. So why all this stuff is happening for a reason, I don't know, and I probably won't ever know why everything's going haywire. Could be all the manifestations, or it could be, all the energy that's out there. And I just don't know, dudes. I really don't. And so I was really counting on this Raw Fear show, the past hour away, but I guess I'm not supposed to show it, and you know what? That's okay. So I'm going to wing it. And with a little help with you guys in there, Cindy Mitch, much love to you, hon. Much love to you. So whatever comes out of my mouth tonight, it's what I'm supposed to tell you guys. Hey, Sebastian, good to see you. Kurt says, sorry to hear that, buddy. We will work with you. No worries. And I also agree with 100%. There's no coincidences. There is no coincidences. But before we get on with the show, welcome everybody to the Tuesday night edition of Into the Night with me, your host, Sean Kelly. I am on UPRN Talk Radio, 105.3 Mississippi, 107.7 New Orleans. And just one announcement tonight. Don't forget, right after my show tonight at 9:15, we're going to have the great C.L. Thomas and her Gateway podcast coming on right after me. And I kind of looked at her guest tonight, and it seems like it's going to be pretty interesting for her. So, after my show, tune in. But you know what? You also got to realize, too, here on UPRN Talk Radio, this platform here, it's doing all right, Joe, I guess. Hey, Mr. Wojo, what's up, sir? Good to see you. Hey, Heidi, good to see you. Don't worry, it's a tad late. I've been a tad late all day. It's a tad late. Don't be sorry, please. Please do not be sorry. It's just been one day from hell here for me. But on, like I was saying before, on UPRN Talk Radio, we have all bunch of other shows too. Um, you got Joe Montaldo's show, UFO Undercover, and then you got the chat, which is on Saturday night. That's when you can come into the chat room and talk all you want. It's like we don't talk paranormal or stuff like that. We just talk about talk. I call the chat Saturday nights 7:30. I call the chat. Um, it's like the View on steroids. Okay, the boys don't like it when I say that, but it's like Heidi says, "Level, I love the chat. Anything. It's about anything and everything, and it is the number one show here on this platform, which is great. And if you want to hear about my political side, right, um, then you come on News on the Flip Side on Friday nights, 10:10 Eastern, and we talk political." And Heidi says, yes, we chit chat about anything, everything, and anything. And that's the truth. But like I want to say again that I really am sorry that I couldn't get an episode of Raw Fear on tonight. I just been having one of those bad days, you know. And I don't know. It just seems like I feel like, oh, Steve said, Mr. Roach, yes, he can. He's a good talker, too. One of the best. I mean, she saved my butt many a time. And I truly appreciate that from her. I really do appreciate her friendship. And I appreciate everybody else's friendship. Cindy, she's in the room tonight. And Kurt and Mr. Wojo and everybody. So, and Michelle. Hey, Michelle, good to see you. But I want to ask Michelle a quick question as we go on. How's all the supernatural, paranormal stuff happening in your house? I thought about you today, and I was thinking, how was that going on with you? But let's talk about coincidences. Everybody in the chat room, my question to you guys tonight: do you believe in coincidences, or do you think everything happens for a reason? Do you ever get the feeling when you wake up in like a fog, and you're like, who was it? Pigpen on the Peanuts, Charlie Brown, where the cloud of dust follows him everywhere, or Schleprock from that Flintstone show about Bam Bam and Pebbles. Nope, not 99.7% of the time. Oh, okay, Heidi. Well, today is like one of those Schleprock days, those Pigpen days, where there's just like a dark cloud following me around, and everything I touch, okay, it just falls apart. I'm just like, dumbfounded, So, I mean, I was so into getting, for this episode tonight, and I really didn't prepare for anything else. So, Heidi, if you have a question or anybody has a question out there, we can throw it out to the crowd. Throw a question out. If you want to talk about something, please talk about something. But when it comes back to coincidences, I don't believe in them. And I never do. I never did. Okay. And that was a reason. It just, a coincidence means that it's supposed to happen, but it never did. Okay, Michelle got on. Here she goes. I struggle with constant state of praying, cleansing, and grounding. Forbear, if I let my guard down, I could let evil sneak in. What do you mean by evil sneaking in? How do you know, because I do believe we talked about this when you were on the show. Not everything is evil, you know what I mean? Um, but with your guardian angels there and everybody else out there trying to help you where you live, um, you should have no problem. I'm being honest with you on that, dear. Um, there are spirits out there around in your area, in your house, that are protecting you. See, if you like continue to, if you continue to worry about things and protection, whatever, it's just like you're stuck. Your eyes are like, got blinders on and you're looking at one thing. Okay, it's a ghost, so it could be evil, so I'm going to be afraid. And not all ghosts are bad. Okay, some are very good. Some just want to be seen, some want to be heard, and some just want to be around you. Gary says, your friend is here. You can smell now. All right, thanks, Gary. Appreciate that. Stephen say, Mr. Wojo says, Love Shop Block, do you have an order of dragonflies, Mr. Flintstone? Oh, that made me put a smile on my face. Oh, it's okay for missing a minute, Miss Heidi. It's okay. It's all right. You're here. That's all that matters. Michelle says, I am looking for another place to live. It's costly and will take a minute. Okay, then do what you got to do for you, you know, and make sure you have somebody come in to your new place that you're going to buy and have it checked out. You can't just have the blinders on and be worried about everything 24/7 because you won't have a life. You won't be able to go out and do things, you know. Uh, Heidi says, I feel and have told my kids that when having a feeling of discomfort, to know without a doubt that light will win over dark. Balance is needed and necessary. That is awesome. I like that, Heidi. Seriously, that's pretty good. Let me repeat what Heidi just said. I feel and have told my kids that when having a feeling of discomfort, to know without a doubt that light will win over dark. Balance is needed and necessary. So true. Then she comes back and she says, never show, think, or feel fear, even if you are. Feeders are difficult to get rid of. Yeah, that is true, Heidi. But also, you have to be careful too. Are there power lines that come over your house? Because that has a lot of EMF energy on it. And everyone knows that the spirits are attracted to that EMF energy. So, with all the energy coming off the power lines, um, and with showing your emotions, your fear and anger and whatever, it's just going to multiply, and the spirits are going to be like, to them, it's going to be like a buffet. They have so much. Uh, Michelle says, it wakes me constantly. Nothing bad has happened. It's draining, struggling to balance. Um, so there is a way to balance. You got to find it. You got to find it, Michelle. And I'm not telling Michelle what to do. I'm just making suggestions for her about the situation that she's in. You know what I mean? And I hope she can get some little tidbits of, um, to help her out when she's definitely going. What she's going through. Heidi says, energy flows where attention goes. That's cool. Might make a t-shirt out of that and sell it. Energy flows where attention goes. I like it. Michelle says, I think it's a lifestyle change I will have to incorporate into my lifestyle over time. If you have to, then do it. Change. Maybe the spirits are trying to tell you, hey, Michelle, Time to move on with your life. Don't worry about us. We're okay. Heidi says, just ground. Just be in the present. And Heidi is so correct on that. She really is. All you gotta do is ground. Put your 2 feet on the ground, close your eyes, and push all that negative energy that has in store inside you, push it down through your body, out at the bottoms of your feet, and let Mother Earth deal with it. So that's what she's there for, you know, to get rid of that negative by grounding. Heidi says, felt or seen some weird shit. I've told my kids too that you can't erase visions. I've never been into horror movies. I have. I have. That's a good question. I want to bring everybody. Thank you, Michelle. I truly appreciate that. I truly appreciate what you just said. Um, I hope it works out for you. But here's a question, everybody, too, and I like it. Do you like horror films? And if you do like horror films, which horror films do you like? What is your favorite horror film? I'll tell you mine in a little bit. Kurt says, I heard if you put a picture of the person you love the most in your mind, surrounded by light, and just keep repeating, you cannot harm the light. It wards off evil, dark spirits, when you feel threatened. You know what? That's interesting, Kurt. I never heard of that. Sir, that's a good idea. But I'm sure there's many, many other things out there that you can actually um, do. From what I understand, if you want to get rid of a person or if you know the spirit, write its name on a piece of paper and put water in a cup, put the paper and put it in your freezer and let it freeze. I don't know if that works or not. Never tried it. Never tried that. But you can't be afraid. You know, you have to stand up. The only fear can really cause a lot of damage. Now, there was a definition when I got sober, and it's fear, and it's face everything and recover, or everything that F everything and run away. So, which one do you want to do? Do you want to recover from this, or do you want to run away with it? Okay, here we go. Heidi says, if you can't ground and still feel floaty, Carrie Lynn has taught that to draw a spiral with your finger on the bottom of your feet, both or you'll be off balance. No joke. I believe that. And Carrie Lynn's she has her own show Friday nights. It's the Spirits Switchboard. And her show's on at 6:10 p.m. to 8:10 p.m. Eastern Time on Friday nights. And her shows are awesome. She has good guests. So if you're not doing not on a Friday night, 6 p.m., 8:10 p.m., turn on the Spirit Switchboard on UPR and Talk Radio. So that's what I can say that could possibly help you. What's the big question, Rob? Hey, buddy, good to see you, buddy. What's the big question? What's the big question, my friend? I never knew about that one, honey. Hey, Seattle, there she is. Hey, girl, how are you? Good to see you. I'm just everybody, like I told you, right after my show at 9:15. Uh, there she is, Miss C.L. Thomas. Um, I'm glad to see you. I hope everything's okay. Her show is the Gateway Podcast, and it's on at 9:15 tonight. And she has a good guest. You check them out. Does. And Robert's big question is God, life, and death. Okay. Does God exist? Rob, does God exist? I believe so. Do you ever wonder why God makes decisions that you do not think that they were right? Do you get mad at God because, or, and when I say God, that was Rob's question, God, life, and death. And do you get mad at God or whoever you believe, whoever makes your life get better, like Buddha, Hare Krishna, whoever? Uh, okay, yes, okay, I think we all do. Like, there's some people that believe that the goddesses out there who practice Wiccan, you know, the goddesses that they have. Um, do you? But that's a good thing. People who are Wiccan or any other religion out there, do you have a problem with your God um, doing things that are not supposed to happen and you do not understand why? So when I share about God tonight in this question that Rob said, um, I'm talking about mine. All right, Kurt says, I feel like God is source and not a being. One of my favorite talks, LOL. Where did we come from and who made us? I'll say the Anunnaki, buddy. I don't know who did. Um, let's see, Heidi says she is. Robbie says you have a prime mover to create the universe. It's got to be somebody, Rob. And the only way that I can explain that is I just can't because I don't have an answer for you, my friend, on that. But I tell you what, I do get mad at God a lot of times. A lot of times. I mean, I cuss him out too, you know. I cuss him out a lot if nothing goes right for me. But then again, you have to look at it. So nothing worked out for me. So it's real easy for me to blame my God, okay, and cuss at him when in fact, why it doesn't happen, why he does this shit to me, then maybe it was supposed to happen. And that's where the coincidence is, and that's where everything is not coincident. Everything happens for a reason. Now, is it possible that God, my God, does it so I learned a lesson from it? Sure, absolutely, dude, absolutely. And usually come down the road, down the pike a little bit, um, I find out that whatever I was hoping for would have never really worked out right. I mean, think about it. Okay. Michelle, don't understand God or the universe's timing. I've humbled and I don't get angry. That's a good thing. That's a good thing, Michelle. I've lived through so much trauma. I'm always in recovery, moving on mode. Okay. Kurt says, I would love to back engineer all this junk DNA and see what step the hell they're starting to store data on pieces of DNA and re-uploading it. It's crazy. Kurt, that's what my son does for a living. That's what he went to school for. He works with DNA. Okay. And he was an altar boy growing up. He went to church with his mom religiously all the time. But when he got into the scientific field, he don't believe in God, the God that he was raised with. Okay. And everyone came up to me and said, well, you should be mad at him. No, I ain't mad at my son for not believing in it. He's a scientist, and I'm not blaming all scientists. So one day we had this discussion, him and I, and it just was not going anywhere. Did I try to force him? Maybe a little bit. But then I realized that he's my son and he has his own way of thinking. And so I accept what my son thinks and does. Okay? And that's the way we all should be with everybody. Who says you're allowed to judge? Who? We can't judge. We're not allowed. It's not our deal. It's not our deal to judge. We're not allowed to do that. Only when we die, someone up there is going to be able to judge us for all our actions. Who knows? All right, let me go back here. Heidi says, I absolutely believe in a higher source, a creator, but I honestly have somewhat of a struggle with the story that came from a book zillion years ago, translated from a human with their own individual. I'm right there with you, Heidi. Do I have a problem with the Holy Bible? I sure do. I do. It needs to be rewritten. But I'm not going to get that far on this show tonight. We're just answering Rob's question. I mean, one day, if you want to talk about the Bible, then we can actually, and how we feel, just come on News on the Flip Side or come on to the chat. Saturday nights would be more than happy to bring it up and talk about it. It's that simple. But tonight is really not a night to talk about how we feel about the thing. Rob says, God is spiritual because physical beings have potential to change. And God is the does not change, actualization of all potential. True. So true, my friend. But for some people like me, to be honest with you, if you want me, I don't go to church. I have a problem with the Catholic Church. But I was raised it in 12 years. For 12 years I was. I can go out to South Park. I can go in the woods or something like that, and I can talk to a tree. I can talk to the water. I can talk to the plants. I can talk to the animals. Did not my God create that? Like the book of St. Thomas said. Thomas was never put into the Bible because he believed that you can go anywhere and pray and God will still love you. But is God spiritual? But of course, who knows? We do not know these questions, answers to these questions. We don't. Whoa, there's a lot of stuff here. Okay. Okay, here we go. Heidi says, Michelle says, my oldest son doesn't believe either. It's his free will to choose. Yes. And that's the big thing right there. Free will. We have a choice. Heidi says, I also believe I'm a star child in human form, made of magical, mystical stardust. I think that's pretty cool. I don't know if I'm magical or not. I don't know if I'm a star child either. I don't know that stuff. Maybe if I really look into it. I don't know if I'm a star child. Okay, Kurt says, I accept whatever people think, whoever they are. I can only say my side of the case, and that's all I can do. But I never say I'm right or someone else is wrong. Hell, we are all wrong, really. Oh my God. That is the best thing I ever read. Kurt says again, let me do this again. Let me say this again. Kurt says, I accept whatever people think, whoever they are. I can only say my side of the case. And that's all I can do. But I never say I'm right or someone else is wrong. Hell, we're all wrong, really. So true. Thank you for sharing that, Kurt. That was interesting. I like that. I like that a lot. Heidi says, I was hoping to talk about it any deeper. I generally don't like religion or political combos. I don't. Well, I totally understand. So Rob, you're going to have to, but I can't let my friend hanging. He asked a question on it. I don't like political stuff either. Not on my show. Not on my show. And, I'm being straight out about it. And we usually don't talk about religion either, you know. And there's a reason why I don't talk about it, because it doesn't fit my mold. It doesn't fit my people who are watching the show. But Robbie Kinsella, he's my best friend. So of course I'm not going to say, Rob, come back another day. No, I'm not. I wanted to answer his question. Joe Fox says God and the Son of God has no use for religion. Okay. Religion is human. Of course it is. Of course it is. And Sebastian says, there are some things in life that are wrong, and there are some things that I am right with. True. Joe says religion is a human dogma. Rob says maybe God is like a parent that is watching a child playing a game and would like to help out, but he can't because he set up the rules. Right on the money, Rob. Right on the money, dude. You got that right. I believe that. But we are over the 30-minute mark right now, and I'm going to go to a little break, 70-second break, maybe a minute break. Depends on, if I have to have another cigarette or whatever, or something to drink. But, if you guys got to go to the bathroom, get a smoke, do whatever, I'll be back and we'll do the second half of the show. How's that sound? Okay. Hold on. So I will see you in about 70 seconds to about a minute and a half. Let's put something on here that we didn't hear at the beginning. We'll go there.
Hi, I'm Brittany Ashley, your host of Breaking Norms Building Dreams, your guide through this transformative journey in both business and life. This is your place crafted for dreamers, doers, or anyone who has been told they can't. Get ready as we challenge those narratives together. You're tuning in live to the United Public Radio Network, airing on 105.3 and 107.7 FM in New Orleans. We are streaming on all the popular platforms every Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join me for a candid and thought-provoking conversation celebrating your unique journey, because you are worth it.
What's out there? What creates the shadows in the corners or the creatures of the dark? Who are those on the other side? What do they have to say? This is the Gateway Podcast. This is not your normal style of paranormal talk radio. Brought to you live from United Public Radio Network, 107.7 FM New Orleans.
Hey, welcome everybody back to Into the Night with me, your host, Sean Kelly. I'm on UPRN Talk Radio, 105.3 Mississippi, 107.7 New Orleans. And just a little update. We got to see Al Thomas. There she is again. She hasn't left. That is so cool. There's your buddy, Joe. See Al saying hello to you. And her show's at 9:15 tonight, right after mine. And, you got to go over and tune in and check her out. She got a good guest tonight. And looking forward to maybe popping in for a couple minutes like she pops into mine. And I truly appreciate it. But really back on, with VPR and Talk Radio, we have a bunch of other shows. I played some clips, a lot of intros of some of this stuff. And we have like about 20 or 30 shows. So there's a lot of shows. And what you need to do is go to the website, UPRN Talk Radio, and look at all the shows that we have for you that might interest you. I mean, and we got a lot of very, very good hosts, and we got a lot of good subjects, and the hosts are very good at what they talk about, and they bring in some awesome guests. So, you know what? Check them out. Yeah, Cindy's waiting. I'm definitely going to try to make it. In fact, I'm going to ask for that day off. Okay, love you, PRN. Heidi says, love you, PRN. So many shows are on various topics, something for everyone. Carrie Lynn, there she is. Remember, everybody, I was telling you about Carrie Lynn, how awesome her show is Friday night, the Spirit Switchboard, 6:10 p.m. Eastern to 8:10 p.m. Eastern. There she is, and she popped in. I'm happy. Welcome, Carrie Lynn. I appreciate it. So we got two hosts. CL, she came in with the Gateway Podcast, and Carrie Lynn, she came in with the Spirit Switchboard. So if you have any questions for them, please feel free to call them, ask them. CL says we have a lot of great hosts and guests on the show that talk about the real paranormal, and she's right about that. Let me repeat that. CL said, Carolyn, where did she hear me telling secret techniques? Hey, Rob, listen, I am truly sorry, and it hurt my heart about Cindy. Okay. And I am praying for her, and I'm praying for your family. And when we see each other on the 29th, we can sit down and talk some more, dude. Okay? Yeah. Yeah, she was a good girl, dude. I really liked her a lot. I mean, we grew up together, Rob. Yeah, I'm going to miss her. I'm going to miss her. Carrie Lynn says, thanks. You need to come spend more time with me on my show again. Sure. I'd be happy to. Give me a time. Of course, I'm gonna have to get you on the show too. But we were talking about some religion and God, and then we're going to go to another topic. Rob want to know about life and death. So with life is good, and death is only part of life. But what scares me about that is that they're probably coming up with a pill where you can be alive for the rest of your life without dying. I don't know, but that's for another show. That's for another show and for another host. I really don't know. But Rob, I will definitely see you on the 29th. Like, you got my number. Give me a call, and then we can talk. And we can go have coffee and talk all about the good times with Cindy. About Cindy. Seriously. I want to do that. Kurt says I'm having some connecting issues also, Sean. I just caught back up, but yes, we are wrong, or if someone says no, it's actually this way. I listen and keep it in my mind, but really don't believe all. Michelle says you love her Carrie Lynn's laugh. Yeah, she's a cute laugh. But we're getting close. I mean, I'm hoping this Sunday that coming up, and since St. Patrick's Day is on the agenda for that Monday, okay, I'm going to have a St. Patrick's Day show. And God only knows where it's going to go. I could talk about the Irish of Ireland, how they were mistreated when they came over to the United States, or how they celebrate St. Patrick's another day in other countries. And always remember, everybody, that on St. Patrick's Day, everybody's entitled to be Irish at that. So it's going to be a good time, you know. So we will definitely talk about everything and anything about Ireland, Irish, whatever. We even talk about the little people over there in Ireland. Um, the leprechauns. Do you want to think I do believe they do exist? Leprechauns exist. I believe the Fae exist. I believe that. I don't know much about the unicorns. I don't know if they exist, but I know the gnomes do. You know, and the leprechauns and stuff like that. Maybe we can have a show like that next Sunday. You know, talk about the magical beings of Ireland. That would be like really cool, I would think. Yes. And hopefully next Tuesday when I come on, I'll figure out how to get a Raw Fear show on again, because I really had a really nice one picked out for you guys tonight. And it'll give me about a week to figure it out on how to do it. Now they're like usually running around 57 minutes long. So I might have to skip through like 16 minutes of commercials so we can get through the whole thing. But we're going to try that for next Tuesday, you know. In April, I'm going to have a bunch of people on. And, you know, I have different guests coming on in April, and I'm looking forward to having them on. Kurt says, speaking of horror movies, I love the Leprechaun movies. Give me gold. Does anyone in the act of communication with the paranormal ever hear mention of God from spirits? I never hear about that. Good question, Joe. No, not in my life. Not, no, not at all. And I've been doing it for over 30 years now, my friend, and I have never, ever mentioned or heard anything from spirits about God. Do I believe in angels? Yes, I do. And they are part of heaven. Michelle says, awesome. Can't wait to see the episode. That is a good question, John. You know, but no, none of them have. And if they did, you know, then I would know. I wouldn't trust that spirit who would tell me about that. You know. Carrie Lynn says no, but Jesus and Mother Mary, yes. Cool. And Carrie Lynn, you know, she's paranormal investigator, and she's also very tremendous psychic and medium. You know, now everybody in the chat room, Carrie Lynn in here, and CL and Heidi and everybody, they're very good at what they do. You know, I got the big guns in the room tonight. You know what I mean? And that's what's so great about the host on UPR and Talk Radio. We have the big guns, the people that know what they're talking about. You know what I mean? They know what they're talking about, and they can help out. But yeah, but back to the little people, fairies, gnomes. Have anybody ever built a fairy garden? I know, I want to. Cindy says, yes, you do, Sean. Thank you. So with a little help from my friends, you know, the Beatle, Ringo was on TV last night. You know, I'm going to try to get some ideas from my friends to see if I can build a little fairy garden. And people might think, oh, you're weird, Sean. I'm not weird. I believe in them. I truly do. Truly do. And that's okay. I have nothing against them. But it comes down to the motto that I have, right? You know, I will respect what you believe in, but please remember, please respect what I believe in. And yes, I believe in fairies. Heidi says, me? Currently building still. She's building her fairy garden. Awesome. Carrie Lynn says, yes, many fairy gardens. And CL says, yes, sea salt and rosemary. That's pretty neat. Now, see, these are all brand new to me. okay? Because the only thing I put out was like little sparkly, rocks and pretty rocks and stuff like that. And believe it or not, the fairies like milk and water, milk, honey and milk. Oh yeah, absolutely. Let's see. CL says it's supposed to draw them and gardens and water sources. Kurt says, I don't believe people unless they're weird, or I'll say I believe them more than the stiffs. That's funny. Yeah, we're a good type of weird too, you know. Cindy says, I added an outside gnome and fairies today to my old tree stump. That's cool. CL says some elementals aren't nice though, so be careful what you bring in. And Heidi says, I swear Carrie Lynn was my sister in a past life. LOL. And Heidi says, I had pebble and bark glass built into my houses. See, it's great. But CL, you're right. There are some pretty bad ones out there. But in my adventures with, the Fae, I always had good ones. Always had some good ones. I never had a bad one yet. I guess, if you send that bad intentions to them, that's going to attract the bad fairies. And, I guess everything in living life, from the phase up to people to animals, you always got to have some bad and you always have to have some good. It's the yin and the yang of the world, and you need that. Kurt says, Sean, you ever ventured to any part of Central PA for any investigations? I'm close to Altoona and State College. No, a long time ago I did, but you know what? I plan on doing some. So, Kurt, if I go out that way, we're going to go do an investigation. I think we can bring Joe Fox. I think Joe lives close to that too. That would be sweet. We can do that. Heidi says, I have high respect for nature, and so do I. And we should. We shouldn't destroy nature. You got your animals. You got your birds. Even the little insects. Everything is part of the life. Everything's part of life. Everything's part of the earth, of the ground that we walk on. Everything is. It's important. Even spiders, ladies and gentlemen. I love spiders. Snakes, on the other hand, no. I see a snake and automatically I think it's a boa constrictor, and it's only a little grass. It's only a grass snake, but I think it's a boa constrictor. It's funny because I run for the hills when I see a snake, but when it comes to spiders, spiders are great. Cindy Mitch says Dollar Tree has little fairy and gnome homes and figurines for outside for $1.25. You know what, Cindy? We have a Dollar Tree down where we live, huh? And yes, there's like a whole end cap full of all fairy stuff. But what I would think, and let me ask this question out there to the people who build fairy things. Do you do it your own way? Do you imagine what their garden, the fairy gardens, look like? Or do you trust your instincts and build what you think? Or do you trust your gut? Personally, me, I'm lazy, so I throw out milk and honey. That's what I do. But I plan on doing some more stuff and working with them because they definitely helped me in the past. Heidi says I see he's gotten a few from Dollar Tree. But everybody, it's that time of the night to leave. I know, pardon is such sweet sorrow. But this Sunday coming up, okay, we can talk about it. St. Patrick's Day. And hopefully Tuesday, Next Tuesday, I will be able to get a raw fair show on. I got a couple picked up pretty good that you would enjoy. Kurt says, awesome show. You will have to let me know when and if you decide to. If you would like, I can help out anyway. I am currently in Hollidaysburg. Oh, okay. I know where that is. Heidi says, I get a tad inspiration by articles of whichever, but build with natural stuff here. There you go, girl. Tom Barker said, I was missing in the woods while hunting for over 6 hours and found cover in the snow. Went back this year and went to the summer beautiful place and peaceful. Carrie Lynn says, intuition, and when the kids were small, they each built their own. Now my granddaughter helped last year, milk and honey, small colored stones, plants, yes. And Heidi said, also a lady was there on UPR show. Can't remember, but she had written books and have fairy lineage. I don't know who that was, but if you want me to look into that, Heidi, I will definitely do. But children, if you can, please go to your parents, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. And children, please go to your grandparents. We forgot about grandparents. Go give them a hug and tell them that you love them. And parents, please go to your children, give them a hug and tell them that you love them. Because in those 3 words, I love you, go a long way. Again, thank you again for tonight, for stopping in, listening to Into the Night. And I will see you this Sunday. Happy hunting.